Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is Friday morning, so we appreciate you hopping on. Today, we are starting with the CIMA certification webinar. We have a fantastic webinar for you today, highlighting the details of the CIMA curriculum, our great education providers, and much, much more. So let's get started. Shall we get started? Here we go. All right. Hello, I am Kari Estes. I'm an enrollment counselor here at the Investments in Wealth Institute. My colleague, Gray Bullard, is also on the line. Our role here is to talk with advisors, gauge their level of interest in our programs, how they can move through the program, and really just be a resource to you as you discover all that we offer here at the Institute. Today's webinar, we are on a Zoom platform. All lines are muted. Please go ahead and type any questions you have into the Q&A function. We are recording this particular webinar, so you'll receive an archive soon after we wrap up. And no CE hours are awarded. This is a purely informational webinar today. So let's dive in. Who are we? We are the Investments in Wealth Institute through our certifications, conferences, and online education. We deliver premier investment consulting and wealth management credentials along with world-class education. Both firms and individuals turn to us for their professional and development needs. Here is a pretty cool infographic. This is our ecosystem. The Institute here, we are dedicated to serving the educational needs of advanced investment professional and wealth professionals all around the world. We are best known for our 3 certifications, so CIMA, which we're covering today, CPWA, Certified Private Wealth Advisor, focusing on the needs of high net worth, and the RMA, which is a Retirement Management Advisor, focusing on retirement risk and retirement income. We also have some really great in-person conferences. We have our annual ACE Academy conference coming up mid-May in Nashville. It's not too late for that. That's always a great way to dive in and get a taste for our education and the high level of content that we offer. We also have some really cool events like Women in Wealth and Diversity Elevates. We have 3 award-winning publications. So you can see here at our core, we are a trade association, an education provider, and a standards body for financial advisors. All right, so the meat and potatoes of the curriculum, why you're here, let's dive into the CIMA certification. The who, what, where, why, and when of the CIMA. So who is it for? Financial advisors, investment consultants, analysts, and wealth management professionals. The what? It's the Peak International Portfolio Construction and Investment Focused designation. The where, which is why we stand out from a lot of other credentials. We partner with top 10 business schools, Yale University, Chicago Booth School of Business, and Wharton UPenn. And the why. Relevant content, differentiate yourself with and have higher compensation, give yourself that confidence and credibility, and that expert instruction through those 3 universities. And the when, right now. And all jokes aside, that's really, a personal journey for you. That's what Gray and I are here to help decide as when it's ready for, right time for you to dive into that CIMA certification program. So here's the core curriculum. At a high level, CIMA covers 5 knowledge domains. You can see there, fundamentals, which dives into global capital markets, applied finance, and economics. Investments, focusing on fixed income, alternative investments, real assets, and options and futures. 3, portfolio theory and behavioral finance, investment philosophies, strategies, and styles, dissecting behavioral finance theory. Risk and return really speaking for itself, performance measurement and attribution. And then lastly, portfolio construction and the consulting process, merging 1 through 4 together really to create an investment policy statement, client discovery process, manager search and selection, and portfolio review and revisions. So again, this is a high level of the core curriculum. We have what we call the detailed content outline here at the Institute. I highly recommend you taking a deeper dive. It just does a nice layout of all the topics expected to cover within the curriculum. So please reach out to Gray or myself afterwards. We'd be happy to pass that along as you look more into the program. Excellent. So you may find yourself, saying, why should I invest my time, my energy, my, finances into the CIMA certification? Here are the top 5 reasons that advisors report back to us of why earning the CIMA was relevant to them. So relevant content. CIMA at its core combines a balance of theory and practical knowledge. When I speak to advisors on the phone, I always recommend starting with that CIMA detailed content outline that I just referenced. As you take a deeper dive into the curriculum, you'll find that the content really speaks for itself. So again, please reach out to Gray and I for that detailed content outline. It is also listed on our website. That competitive differentiation. So what will make you stand out from the advisor down the street? What can you bring to the table that will make an individual move their assets over to you and provide perhaps a larger part of your client's wallet share? Higher compensation really speaks for itself. CIMA advisors report earning more than average advisors in the industry. And then more confidence with clients. In an increasingly complex marketplace, CIMA provides you with that confidence to work with a more affluent client. And then expert instruction, as we keep referring back to, CIMA partners with elite education through Chicago Booth School of Business, Wharton UPenn, and Yale University. All right, here's kind of a nice market comparison of CIMA compared to the CFP and CFA. So speaking of that balance of practical application and technical knowledge, here's where the CIMA compares CIMA to CFP and the CFA, where CFP is a great holistic financial planning certification. We say an inch or perhaps a little more wide, deep and a mile wide. CIMA really narrows that focus on investment management, policy and plan design, portfolio construction, investment fundamentals, and advanced theory. And then you have CFA on the other end of the spectrum is for security analysis and portfolio managers. It's very technical in nature. And you can see there when you look at the minimum or the typical time commitment, you can see CFA is 3 years. I just spoke with a gentleman earlier this week who's on year 10 of completing the CFA. So definitely a time commitment there and very analytical, technical in nature. And CFP, a typical time commitment is 18 months. You can see CIMA there, roughly between a 6 to 9 month timeline to move through the program. And then comparing CPWA, we get a lot of questions about, should I pursue CIMA? Should I pursue CPWA? Should I pursue both? CPWA covers the needs of high net worth. We say that's 5 million and above. Things like tax and estate planning, asset protection, wealth transfer, client specialization, like closely held business owners and executives. CIMA and CPWA are actually a wonderful complement to each other. We have advisors who pursue both. We call them dual holders here at the Institute. So CIMA checking that box for investment knowledge and CPWA wealth management strategies for those high net worth clients. So go ahead and take a screenshot of this. This is kind of a nice way we know advisors are looking, when they're looking at certifications, they kind of compare to others. So this is a nice chart of that comparison. So quickly going back to those 5 reasons you should earn CIMA, it's all here in the value of CIMA research. That higher compensation, key differentiators, relevant content, and again, that confidence and credibility. This third-party research speaks to the value of earning CIMA and CPWA certifications. So please don't hesitate to reach out to Gray or myself for a copy of this research so you can take a look yourself. All right, so the steps to earn CIMA, let's dive in. Step 1, 2, and 3, I will say a kind of a step before step 1 is simply applying, of course. You'll apply through us, the Investments in Wealth Institute. We are the owner and certifying body of the CIMA certification. I know talking with advisors, sometimes there's that confusion since we partner with those business schools, but you simply will start by applying through us. And once you're approved into the program, here are the steps you'll take to earn CIMA. So number 1, that self-study period. We recommend about 150 to 250 hours of study through on-demand readings, quizzes, activities, and formula worksheets. You'll work through the education provider resources, so whoever you choose for your education provider, which we'll get to in just a moment, along with the Candidate Resource Center, which is a free platform that we provide. So along with those 2 resources, you'll want to hit that 150 to 250 hour study mark. Number 2, that executive education piece. So working with those education providers to move through their curriculum and program. And lastly, the exam itself. There's one final exam to complete the CIMA program. So here they are, our CIMA educational providers, that expert instruction that we partner with. I'll start in the light blue over to the far right first, University of Pennsylvania, Wharton. They are currently wrapped up their last class in 2022. So we ask that you refer back to the website for any upcoming classes. Right now, currently, they do not have any available. So going back to Yale University in the dark blue, Yale offers a fully on-demand, self-paced program. Includes education courses and online test prep materials. It's really meant for that self-motivated, structured person who can move through the program all self-paced. It does offer a ton of flexibility. So when I talk to advisors outside of being Yale, and of course known for their excellent education, that's really one of the biggest perks that advisors are finding, is that fully on-demand, self-paced program that offers the flexibility. And then University of Chicago Booth School of Business, they're more of a hybrid type program. So they offer a combination of live online lectures, on-demand videos, and a recommended 2-day in-person or virtual test prep session. So just to give you an example, the next class for that will start May 4th and run through July 29th, so a 12-week program. The in-person test prep would be August 3rd through 4th. And then if you choose not to go in person for test prep, the live virtual test prep would be July 29th through August 6th, with a total of 14 hours instruction. So the days of instruction or the time of instruction kind of varies throughout that period. So again, I know it's a lot of information, so please feel free to reach out to Gray and I for all of the offerings and what works best with your schedule. Here's kind of a nice layout of the exam itself. You can see weighting percentages down there. So portfolio construction and that consulting process, which was pillar 5 when we looked previously at the core curriculum, is 25% of the program. Behavioral finance, portfolio theory, risk and return and investments, all at 20%, and fundamentals at 15% of what to expect on that exam weighting. Again, the detailed content outline that I mentioned really does a nice job of even drilling down much deeper, giving you a much more granular look at what to expect within the topics of the CIMA program. The exam itself, so it's a 140 multiple choice question exam, 5 hours long, computer-based. We work with both an in-person testing center called Pearson VUE and an online testing platform called ProctorU. So you decide when you set your exam testing time. There are no testing windows, meaning you can take the exam at any time throughout the year. We have a calculator policy there, and also provides you with a sample formula sheet, which we can see right here, our game-changing formulas. So you'll be provided this electronically when you go in and sit for the exam through Pearson VUE or ProctorU. You can take a screenshot here. It also lives on our website. Just gives you a chance to have some familiarity with what to expect with those formulas going through the CIMA program. Here is sheet 2 of that formula sheet. Again, Gray and I would be happy to pass these along to you after today's presentation. All right, tuition assistance. We have this really great scholarship opportunity. 3 pillars of the scholarship: diversity, women in wealth, and RIA excellence. So if you think that you would apply or be approved for any of these scholarships, please go ahead and apply online. Both under CIMA, you can find the scholarship link. And again, I'd be happy to send that to you. Up to $2,000 can be awarded for scholarship. All right, now imagine your future. This is what my colleagues and advisors who I speak with, how they feel after completing the CIMA certification. So this is just supposed to be representation of how you'll feel once you go through the CIMA and be able to apply that knowledge that you learned to your practice. So again, if you're ready to talk, if we have convinced you that CIMA is the right certification for you, please feel free to reach out again to myself, Kari Estes. My colleague, Gray Bullard, is on the line. And Mike Kurz is our program director. He is also a fantastic resource for any questions you have about the program. So now I think we'll dive into any questions that we have. Great question. Once you have passed the certification, is there any annual membership fee or continuing education to be certified? Yes, we require 40 hours of CE every 2 years. We also have a $8.95 renewal fee over a 2-year period. And the request to have our emails back up. So let me get back. Here we go. Here's our contact slide. Again, Gray and myself are both available to answer any questions about any of our certifications, educational offerings here at the Investments in Wealth Institute. Do ethics CE coincide with CFP ethics CE? So that's the answer is no. Unfortunately, CFP only allows CFP ethics, to my understanding. So CIMA is pre-approved for 30 hours of continuing education for CFP. So when you apply, we ask for you to fill out your CFP ID. So when you do that, we submit to the CFP board on your behalf once you have completed the CIMA certification and are awarded those 30 hours. We say 30 hours, CFP will only accept 28 because of those 2 hours of ethics. So you would need to get the ethics through CFP, but great question. Here's another great question. In terms of work experience, are the most recent 3 years looked at, or 3 years in total? So we do have a 3 years experience requirement to earn the CIMA certification. I will mention that you can earn the CIMA and complete its entirety, the program in its entirety, and use the education for your practice. But you have to demonstrate 3 years of experience before you can use the marks behind your name. So that's kind of the differentiator for that 3-year experience requirement. We recommend that our legal team and internal CIMA team really review those applications when it comes to experience requirements. So I don't want to speak directly. I would be happy to talk offline for the particular person who asked that question as far as experience requirement goes. But our team always recommends that you apply, get started in the program, and then if they have any questions about your experience requirement, they'll reach out to you directly. Another question about our background check. We do a FINRA background check. This one is in particular to Canadian residents. So again, I think it'd be better off talking about that offline. So please feel free to reach out to me directly or Gray, and we'd be happy to walk you through that and connect you with the right people here at the Institute for any questions that go outside our scope of knowledge here. So here's a question about CIMA versus CPWA and how they're a nice pair, getting them together. Does CPWA just add on the complexities for high net worth folks? So there's really very little overlap in the CIMA curriculum with CPWA. So if you pursue CIMA and later decide to pursue CPWA, it's not just an add-on of the needs of high net worth. There is, the topics are completely different. So I'd be happy to, again, to pass you along the core topics so you can take a look at what those look like. But there's, I think Mike Kerr is our program director who has both his CIMA and CPWA, said there's very little overlap, less than 10% within the CIMA and CPWA program. So they're very different in their focuses, CIMA being investment focused, CPWA being, the unique needs of high net worth. Excellent questions. All right, we'll just hold on a minute for any other questions that coming in. It looks like we've addressed most of them. Time commitment is always a big one. People kind of like a breakdown. So we see advisors reporting 5 to 10 hours per week to dedicate to your education provider's resources and studying, and that should prepare you over that 6 to 9 month timeline to feel confident and ready to sit for that final certification exam. Start date. Go ahead, Gray, sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I just wanted to say hi, and we also have program schedules for Chicago booth. If you want those, Yale's continuous, as you all know, it's 100% on demand, and but we do have schedules for the Chicago booth class coming up, the 2 classes coming up this year. So and then the classes, so if you all need those, we can send those to you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Both Yale and Chicago, being the only education providers currently for CIMA, have great detailed websites. So you can find the link to those on our website as well. But they provide a nice overview of what to expect going through their program and list those dates out. Excellent. Any other questions? What type of job experience qualifies? So we say 3 years in financial services. It's broad for a reason. So again, if you do have questions concerning your education experience, I'd love to hop on the phone with you and get a better understanding of what your experience looks like. And if we have any questions, I can pass you along to both our legal team and internal CIMA team, as they are the ones that review those applications and make sure that those qualify.
Yeah, there's a question about Proctor U and the exam. So, you can take the exam anytime after the executive education piece. You can do it online at home, in remote. You don't have to go to a testing center. So they can be completed anytime. There's no date, that you have to do. You can pick the date.
Yep, no testing windows. I know that's unique to some other certifications out there in the industry where they only have certain testing windows throughout the year. CIMA exam, both through Pearson VUE and Proctor U, is offered anytime throughout the year. Well, excellent. Some really great questions today. I appreciate all of you joining us. Like I said, this will be recorded and sent to you via email after we wrap up today. So Gray and I are here. We are doing a CPWA certification intro webinar in a couple minutes, and then RMA, our retirement management advisor certification at 11 Mountain. So if you're interested in other certifications, please join us. You can find those links on our website, and we'll be available here to answer any questions. So thank you again for joining us, and hope you have a great rest of your day.